to the MGM Grand here on the Vegas Strip in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada for our main event. Each man comes into this fight supremely confident.
I want to see some head movement out there.
Round number one is now underway. All the talk is done. It is simply time to fight. Mr. Untouchable's got to feel that right there. He was just tagged by a big uppercut.
Body shot, body shot.
Teddy, the expectation in a matchup like this, a power puncher versus power puncher, is that the fight's not going to last long. But what if it does? Then what?
The guy with less power is going to win because he's a guy that has a reserve in a place that he's ready to go to in case the power's not there.
Mr. Untouchable swinging and missing like he's at bat right there. That punch was nowhere near his opponent. Nice defense. Good block by Alvarez. And coming upon the halfway mark of this 3-minute round. He took a shot, but he came back with a right hand of his own. A piercing hook to the head by Jones. He clearly came in with a strategy here tonight, Teddy, and so many times it's, hey, I'm going to bang that drum.
Yeah, he is banging that drum. That drum happens to be the body, and he figures that he's going to try to move on him, so start doing it early on, and later on, he's going to have a guy in front of him.
A well-timed right hand by Mr. Untouchable. End of round one. Jones's good, clean, and effective punching damaged his opponent in that last round. Teddy, he did a smart thing right there. Just created enough space and then landed the counterpunch.
Looked like the will of the wisps, the old great Willie Pep. Made him miss, made him pay.
Needs to improve that accuracy. Missed with the headshot. Jones is showing you a little defensive skill there, able to move away from that punch. Well-targeted right hand by Mr. Untouchable. Halfway through round number two. Good way to protect the midsection. Mr. Untouchable scoring with that right hand. Not able to land the headshot. Alvarez's defense let him down that time. He got caught by a well-targeted counterpunch. Goes up top with a right hand. Very accurate work with the hook there after fine defense. And round number three is underway. He is not in good shape. He could be on the... Oh, a big shot comes home for him. He goes down. He has so much time now, he's going to be forced to survive. Jones's corner corner needs to really get to their man after this round. They need to treat him after that knockdown. They also need to give him some sound advice. What's the advice you'd give him?
Well, first of all, if they're going to get the chance to get to him, he better move his head. But the advice I would give him is, hey, you go out this next round and you kill some time. Tie him up a little bit right from the beginning. Don't worry about losing the early part of the fight or the early part of the round. Just get yourself back together.
To the belt line he goes with a left hand. And he's holding. Scored well with that right hand to the body. Coming to the halfway point of this third round. Well off the mark by Mr. Untouchable. He got hit right there, but he also gave one. Solid effort by Alvarez. Mr. Untouchable's favorite punch is the jab, and tonight he's loving it.
Well, the jab is the table setter, Joe, and he set a beautiful table tonight. Napkin on the left, you know, small fork on the left, knife on the right, and the food right in the middle. And he's eating all night.
You taking some English etiquette classes?
You getting hungry?
And makes that nice right angle on that hook upstairs.
Side to side, move your head.
Right to the body. By Ricardo Alvarez. Shook up there, Teddy. What a turn of events. Just moments ago, he was the one doing the damage.
No other sport shows retribution right in front of you so quickly, so impactfully.
Well, if anything has been learned from the first 3 rounds is that sometimes just being the busier fighter will do well for you, and that's the case right now for him as he's up 2-1 on Teddy's scorecard.
Yeah, not always landing a lot. You put it very well, Joe. Not always landing a lot, but keeping his opponent defensive and keeping him from doing what he wants to do.
And he just holds on there. Mr. Untouchable's right hand scores well that time. The last thing either guy wants to be here, Teddy, is one-dimensional.
The last thing you want to be in anything to be successful is one-dimensional. I mean, if you're a comedian, you don't want to be saying the same jokes all the time. Your crowd's not going to be there. Well, your opponent is going to be there all night long if you do the same thing.
Oh, he just misses with that headshot. Halfway through round number 4. Mr. Untouchable's making me question how his legs are right now. I'm not sure that he's all too secure and steady on those legs after that knockdown, just like he's tying up a lot here.
Yeah, well, you don't have to wonder. You're saying you're not so sure he's secure. Well, he's telling you. You know, he's right there. That's about as honest of a fight as ever going to be is when he's clinching. He's telling you, I don't feel too good.
He's showing what a skilled fighter he is with this counterpunching. That's a nice right hand that time by Mr. Untouchable. Ten seconds to go in this round. This round comes to an end. A round in which this fighter threw a lot of punches, didn't land a lot of punches. I'll tell you, what advice can you give to him if you're the trainer?
Well, first of all, deal with the psychological part. Joe, don't forget, 75% of this game is psychological. Don't let him get discouraged, because even though he's not going to say nothing, in his head, he's starting to get discouraged. Just say to him, hey, listen, you're going to catch him. Let's shorten him up a little bit. And you know what? He's moving his head, so go to the body. Because now you're going to hit him a little in the body, because the body's not moving.
By Ricardo Alvarez, damaged by a right hand. And now he's targeting upstairs. Alvarez, and yet another big shot comes in. How about that? He goes from being the victim to handing out the punishment. still in a tough spot here. Don't get fooled just thinking he beat the count and everything's fine.
And I'm not so sure that he can grab. So what you got to do now, if you're a trainer, the way you taught him in the gym is you don't want to go grab because you might leave yourself open. Move your head when he comes to you, then you grab him.
Still plenty of time to work here in round number 5. Minute and a half to go.
Oh, keep your feet moving.
Well, I don't know if he's hip to the idea of becoming a counterpuncher, but I get the sense you'd agree with it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's got the perfect platform, the perfect form for it. The guy's walking in right now, not moving his head much. He can time him, he can counter him.
Alvarez is ripped by an uppercut.
Let it go.
Final 10 seconds of this 5th round. Not hitting his mark there, going upstairs. End of the round. So he scores the knockdown and now heads back to his corner. Teddy, do you ever have to calm a guy down after he scored a knockdown?
That's a really great point because a lot of times that can be the turning point, but not for your guy that scored the knockdown, for the other guy. Because sometimes when you score a knockdown, you start to think it's going to be an easy night. And you forget what you knew when you came in, that it wasn't going to be an easy night. You were going to have to bring all the tools out of the tool shed. And it's important to remember that.
If there was a baseball umpire around, he'd call that a strikeout by Mr. Untouchable. He just missed that shot up top. Jones has given us a good showcase of defense here tonight, especially up top. His head movement is just sublime.
And his opponent's cooperating with him a little bit because he's getting frustrated. He's looking for that big shot, and he's continuing to miss. He's making no adjustments. A guy's moving his head. You know what you want to do a little bit?
What's that?
Well, you want to feint him a little bit. Make him make a premature move. And then when he moves to either side, then you time him with a punch. Don't just go out there flailing away.
Tried to land that upstairs and was off the mark. Now hugging on the inside. Jones's right hand did a nice job that time. That worked well for him. Really good work right there, landing the 2 punches in sequence by Mr. Untouchable. Working our way towards the bell. Last 10 seconds of the 6th. Off to the side, a little swing and a miss going upstairs. And round 6 comes to an end. Mr. Untouchable's in position right now to really bring home a good victory. He's up on the punch stats. He's up on your scorecard. This is his fight.
Yeah, we just hope that the judges, and you never know that. That's one thing that sometimes can really disappoint you in this business. You hope the judges see it that way because I can't see it any other way.
Able to block and counter back. Overhand right can be so effective.
Keep it going.
Halfway through the 7th round. Now he ties up there. Alvarez is doing exactly what you should to be a strong defensive fighter. You got to block those punches away. Big shot comes crashing home. Oh, and he goes down again. The question is, can he rise up and continue on? back up, but is he back in the fight?
We're going to find out in a second whether or not he moves his head. Now, if he just stands there straight and you're the trainer, you better get up on those steps and stop it. He's not right.
Not the most accurate uppercut you'll see.
Get in there! Finish with the hook.
Final 10 seconds. He tried to nab him up top, but was unable to connect. And this round comes to an end.
Land a big punch now. No doubt about it.
Start of round number 8, you see Teddy's scorecard. Quite a discrepancy between these two. Alvarez's corner has to figure out a way to get him back to where he was when he scored a knockdown earlier in this fight.
Well, they have to go back to what worked. It was the right hand over the jab. It was timing. It wasn't about power. It was about timing. That's what they got to get back in his mind.
Jones is showing us that he is sticking with the game plan. But keep in mind, that game plan had him down earlier in this fight. What would you be telling him right now, Teddy?
Well, first of all, you got to explain to him very quickly and very clearly why he got caught. You can still do the other things. The other things that we thought going into this fight is still going to work. But make an adjustment. It's not that you didn't do the thing that could work. You didn't do it properly.
Nice block that time. It was intended to the head. Mr. Untouchable's doing something that not everybody appreciates, but he is making his defense a major factor in this fight.
Yeah, well, a lot of times people, they only get it done on one end. What I mean about that is, offensively, they use the jab, they use aggression to set up the offense, but he uses defense to set up the offense. He has a double-edged sword.
See him holding on. Jones is crushed by a huge uppercut. He's committed to that left hand, and it's working out.
Come on!
Solid right by Mr. Untouchable. You can tell he's drawing on that experience now. That last round, he scored the knockdown. He knows how to get back in a fight.
Yeah, there's no panic in him. He just scored the knockdown, but even before that, no panic in him. He understands how many rounds are in front of him.
Uppercut!
What a big shot. And for the second time tonight, he goes down. Alvarez is rising back up. That takes some guts. Able to dismiss that body shot. Jones's right hand working well that time. He scored well. Alvarez is flat-footed. There's no other way to describe it. He's not a fighter that gets up on his toes, moves around, gives you angles. He's flat-footed.
Yeah, you don't have to be on your tricycle all over the place, but you can step a little bit. Get out of range. He's doing nothing.
Boy, that'll put a smile on a trainer's face, landing a flush, strong hook by Mr. Untouchable. Right to the head with that right. You can see he's trying to score up top, but off the mark there. Final chance, last 10 seconds of round 9. Nice work on the right hand by Alvarez. And the round comes to an end. We did have a knockdown in that round. Now, Teddy, if you're in the corner where your man was down on the floor, what are you telling him?
Well, the first thing I do is I sit him down, I get water on the back of his neck. You know, I bring him to a sense, I make sure that he's clear and everything, and then I tell him why he got his backside put on that canvas so he can correct it, and he doesn't go out there and get caught again with the same punch.
And just grabbing onto his opponent. Hits him in the mug with the right. Oh, and he got caught right there. Everything was going fine, and then he got caught.
Well, that's the problem. It was going too fine. He got a false sense of security. The other guy wasn't throwing back. He took for granted, and bang, you can't take for granted in this ring.
Missed the target with that hook. Alvarez is looking like a guy who's not going to survive this right now. How can he survive it, Teddy?
Well, right now, he has to grab. He can't use his legs. You know, the easiest thing in the world is say, hey, get on your bicycle, get the heck out of there. But his legs are wobbly, they're weak. He's got to grab.
It's okay. Bring him back. Focus.
Commits to the straight right. Jones is the victim of a powerful hook.
Listen, I'm not going to stand here and watch you take those shots. You understand me? Let's see.
Well, your scorecard, Teddy, shows that he's up. But to look at him right now, it doesn't give you a lot of confidence. He looks like a tired fighter.
He's unraveling right in front of us. You know what it's time for, Joe?
What?
Go back into the annals of time in this sport. It's time for Angelo Dundee. You know, maybe cut a glove or something, you know, whatever. Of course, he never admitted to that. But something to postpone.
Was that Ali against Henry Cooper?
Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, a slit in the glove when Ali looked real bad, and it buys him a little time.
Alvarez is landing a combination here. That's what he does when he's at his very best.
Unload. Unload. More punch.
Unable to connect by Alvarez. Alvarez's work rate is impressive, Teddy, but his connect percentage is not.
No, there's two reasons for it, Joe. One is his opponent. His opponent is pretty smart, man. You know, he's not just standing there and saying, hey, hit me. He's moving, he's being smart defensively. The other thing is the punches are a little too wide. Needs to shorten them up a little.
90 seconds to go in this 11th round. Mr. Untouchables ruined with that punch right there. He goes from damaged goods to defensive goods.
Yeah, because right now he's fighting on instinct. He's doing things without even thinking. Just automatic things. Things that he was taught 5 years ago, 3 years ago, that maybe he thought about, but he didn't do. Now they're just coming out. He's just naturally surviving.
He returns the favor with a right hand of his own. That was not well targeted by Mr. Untouchable. You see the accuracy now with that double jab up top. Throws a counter punch there. End of the round, and he's had better rounds in the fight than the one we just saw, but still, it's very much there for the taking.
Yeah, whoever finishes up strongly in the late parts of these rounds, a lot of times, you know, the judges get mesmerized a little bit here, too. You know, it's a real close fight, and you kind of forgot where the separation was. And whoever grabs the last part of the round, that's who you remember. It's very important in this kind of fight. Finish up good at the end of the round.
It's all right. Just keep moving.
Didn't get it done going to the body there. Mr. Untouchable's opponent's probably looking at him right now saying, wow, you're not changing anything up. You know, he got to him moments ago. Now he's got the same style that he's looking at again.
Yeah, but he got to him moments ago. Got to him one time. I think right now it's too early to all of a sudden throw everything out the window. But look for an adjustment if things don't change. If he can't get away from those punches, if he keeps having problems, he gets stunned again, then you might have to look for a change. You might have to make a change if you're going to survive.
Keep your head moving.
That uppercut absolutely rocked. Big shot there. Can he beat the count? I don't think so here, Teddy.
Now I know where they got that saying, falling like a sack of potatoes.
Jones is up from the knockdown, but what we really want to look for is how he reacts in the coming moments of this fight.
Work the body.
He missed with that headshot. What a great job. He gave one right back in return. Nice work by Jones. Mr. Untouchable's ability to just get to his opponent before his opponent gets to him, showcase there, his hand speed is very good.
Yeah, it is, Joe. You know, it speaks to one of those old sayings that the trainers used to say, just get off first. That's what he's doing right now. He's getting off first.
I say it all the time. You never know what you're going to get in this sport. We never thought this fight would go the distance.
No, early on it looked like Frazier and Ali. I mean, the thrill in Manila. Who thought we'd wind up with a little ballet down the stretch?
Alvarez is your winner by a unanimous decision.
And that was a surprise right there. Coming into this fight, we thought we'd see maybe a knockout. But no, we wound up getting a strategic fight.
I'm Joe Tessitore for Teddy Atlas saying thanks for being with us and enjoy the rest of your night.